not taught much since 1981. They used to call those lugabouts before they called it laps.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what is this?
Did you say you're out your time?
Yes. Nice to Yeah. And you will meet up after.
Oh my gosh.
Get into the middle of my story. I'm sure the front was fascinating.
Well, I was trying to That's how bad it was.
So it's 5:35. Want to go ahead and just get rolling?
Yes.
Let me call to order the meeting of the Founders Academy's Board of Trustees. Let me begin by asking us all to stand and participate in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please be seated. So let's begin our meeting as we always do with a reading of our mission statement. The Founders Academy is a public chartered school encompassing grades 6 through 12 that's free and open to all New Hampshire students. The Academy develops leaders who understand and apply the lessons of the past, demonstrate exceptional character, and lead by example. The Academy recognizes the importance of balance in the development of the whole person and respects each student's journey. Principled leadership is fostered by means of a curriculum of classical studies that includes analyzing the lives of great men and women of history, mining the rich classical ideals of the Western tradition, and tracing the evolution of the precious and costly idea of liberty. That's our mission statement. That brings us around to item 1 on our agenda, which is our public comment period. Let me read into the record a portion of our policy on public participation. In order to assure that persons who wish to appear before the board may be heard, and at the same time it may conduct its meetings properly and efficiently, the board adopts this policy to follow the procedures and the rules pertaining to public participation at board meetings. The first 10 minutes will be set aside for citizens to address the board. The period may be extended by a majority vote of the board. Speakers will be allotted 5 minutes per person. Members of the public may offer comments on agenda items only. The board will not entertain comments on items that do not appear on the agenda. Requests to address the board on matters not on the agenda must be presented to the dean and must set forth the specifics of the subject to be addressed. When appropriate, the board may place its requests on the agenda. Consistent with RSA 91A3 and policy BEDB and the laws pertaining to student and family privacy rights, the board will not place any matter on the public agenda that is to be properly discussed in a non-public session. Complaints regarding individual employees, personnel, or students will be directed to the director in accordance with policies KE and KEB. All speakers are to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Obscene, libelous, defamatory, or violent statements will be considered out of order and will not be tolerated. The board chair may terminate the speaker's privilege of address if the speaker does not follow this rule of order. Persons appearing before the board are reminded that members of the board are without authority to act independently as individuals in official matters. Thus, questions may be directed to individual board members, but answers must be deferred pending consideration by the full board. So that is our policy on public participation. We have 4 individuals who have signed up to offer public comment today, and the first one on the list is Michael D. Lawton. Please come forward.
Hi. Good evening. First of all, let me just wish all of you and everyone here in attendance a happy new year. As an educator, I always felt the excitement of the new year to actually happen more in late August.
Oh.
And, with that excitement, well, when you think about it, it's that excitement of the new school year beginning in September. And so all those feelings of anticipation and excitement and of what's to come, I would experience that in late August. And I'm sure many of you on the board who have experience in education will get that same feeling. So that when January would come around and everyone would be talking about New Year's resolutions and excitement, I'd be like, I've already kind of gone through that. I always felt it was anticlimactic. And this was a problem for me because I was trying to, merge where was the conflict. And that's when I finally realized that the reality of the situation is that every day is an opportunity to celebrate the new year. An opportunity for us to reflect on the past, to examine present strengths and weaknesses, and to make a resolution on what opportunities we can look forward to in the future. And so with that, that's what I come to this meeting to address to you as the board, is the opportunity to look forward and to reflect on your success from a parent's point of view, from what I can observe. First, my son, who's a sophomore, has had a phenomenal year this year. And something has happened. Maybe it was always going to happen. I don't know. But there has definitely been a developmental shift. And his academic, social, and emotional growth has been amazing. Now, knowing where he came in as that first group in 6th grade to where he is now, my wife and I can look back and say, wow, he's really grown. But it's just this year in particular, something has happened. And so his excitement for the academics, that just blows me away. the involvement in the groups, whether it be drama or music. He's always enjoyed those things, but it just seems to be a new level this year. So, you know, and building on that, Sue and I are incredibly excited to be submitting an application for our daughter to come next year. So, to start the 6th grade class next year. So, I bring this forward to your attention for the main reason that I'm concerned that there's a public sentiment that things are bad, and I'm sure from a certain point of view, opinions can feel that way, but individuals who are speaking on behalf of parents are not speaking on behalf of this parent. This parent feels very happy and comfortable, and the parents I talk to agree. Is everything perfect? Far from it. But I challenge any adult or child in this room, walk into any academic institution across the nation and find a school without some issue. You know, that's just the element of reality. So, I just want to make it known publicly in this forum, and I also will make it publicly at the State House, you know, for any meetings regarding, before the Department of Education regarding anything regarding what this school represents. You know, I'm not going to let others speak for me. And I encourage all other parents out there to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Buckley. The second person on the sign-up list is Hillary Brook.
Hi, I'm an 8th grader here. I had a high school. Well, my son's no longer here. He chose school elsewhere, but not because we weren't happy here. He was happy here. He just wanted a bigger environment. And I just wanted, said it really well. There's a lot of comments flying around and things being said, and it's not being spoken for everyone. So thank you. And Haley is planning to continue for next year.
The third person is Laura Ryan.
Hello, I'm going to talk about some of the policy elements that were in the agenda. I know that you guys are going to talk about the dress code tonight. I didn't see a dress code posted, and I know there were some things passed on the dress code. I do support uniforms because I think it makes everything absolutely equal. And I think there has to be some type of addressing in the dress code of students. They're young, 14, 13, 15, showing a ton of skin. Uniforms, in my opinion, polo shirts, khaki pants, takes care of that issue. So I support the uniforms. Also, the restraint policy that's being proposed. I can tell you that in order to get a restraint on a patient in a hospital requires a physician's signature. Physicians go through multiple years of medical school. They go through multiple residencies and have considerable amount of training. Education groups do not support restraint policies. Restraints are supposed to be a last resort. I also have a question as to why this restraint policy is coming up all of a sudden, because from the policy committee, I expect policies that are going to enhance academic standards, policies that are going to make the schools better. By coming out with a restraint policy, it indicates to me that you think that there are violent students, and that's a concern to me. So I'd like to know what generation of this policy is. Able, New Hampshire does not sanction a restraint policy. It is not required to have a restraint policy, nor because other schools have it, should we engage in that. It involves a huge liability, and children who have had restraints, including Ryan Battis and some of the kids, Chloe Bertram, they get bruising all over their arms. Some of them die, some of them are physically harmed beyond repair. So I will not support a restraint policy, and I absolutely will be against it at any point in time. Arnie Duncan, the former education secretary, also said there should never be a restraint policy in the school. The last thing that I wanted to address was mission statement. We talk about being leaders, we talk about being leaders for our kids. I want to see people come out as leaders. I think that as a group you have tried to make improvements in the school. I think some of the things haven't worked out as well as you'd hoped. But being leaders means that you have to get up and make improvements. And one of the things that I read in one of the letters in the parent newsletters was that the commitment to special education is coordinating with the Department of Education, and it involves a lot more than that. You are a public charter school, you are required to follow IDEA. So those are the three things that I wanted to address. Thank you.
Thank you. And our fourth person offering public testimony is Ms. Bernard.
Chairman Best, will there be an opportunity, another parent walked in and didn't have an opportunity to sign up? Or should I give her my spot?
Of course, I don't mind having.
Okay.
Do
Thank you.
you want to go first or have them go first?
Oh, she said I should go first. Good evening, Patrice Bernard, parents of A Junior. And going through your agenda, I looked at the treasurer's report. I see somebody must have been reading my mind. So the enrollment figures on the state website say that you're at 303 and you say 339. So you're about 40 short of what you budgeted, times about $6,000 per student. You're looking at about $240,000 shortfall. I see that we're already at a net loss of almost $90,000, and I hope you would be addressing that, but you have not been having finance committee meetings to address that. In the dean's report, we see that we have 67.9% of our students are making honor roll, which means 84% or better, which is great, except that 32.1% are not. And yet our test scores show that our students are failing miserably. For example, our eighth graders, last year's eighth graders, this year's ninth graders, when they first came into the school, the first year they took math test, they got 64% of them proficient. Then after a year at Congress, they went down to 47% proficient. And then last year they went down to 15% proficient. You have a very dramatic decline from 64% to 15%. Something is drastically wrong. And if they're passing their courses and they're not making proficiency on the standardized tests, you have a problem with your courses. They're not good enough. Your teachers aren't teaching well enough. You're not holding your students to a highest standard, or to even a proficient standard. I would hope you would be looking at that as a board. In English, likewise, our current ninth graders who came in 3 years ago started at 64% proficient in English. After a year at Congress, they went down to 45% proficient in English. And then last year, they were only 28% proficient in English. Your English department also is pathetic. It's not doing a good enough job. So I would hope that you would focus on the English and the math. We have almost, when I saw the science scores, we have actually almost as many students proficient in science in the 11th grade as we had proficient in math. That's this isn't the science school, this is supposed to be the humanities school, and our English scores should be much better. As we continue through the agenda, you're going to go down to the board business and the policies, the restraints. Restraints usually affect children that are on disabilities, that are on IEPs or 504s. They usually affect the mentally or emotionally challenged. I'm quite concerned, I know just in the policy committee minutes, that you said, oh, you can handle certification in a professional development day. Actually, you can't. It's gonna take a lot more than a 1 3-hour workshop to be certified in restraints. I'm very concerned for the special needs students and the emotionally handicapped in this school. I don't think you belong putting in a restraint policy. They also,
If I may interrupt, we've arrived at the 10-minute point we have set aside for this. I don't know if you have a couple of additional comments you'd like to add in there, and then I'll let the board
I'll make
consider.
it really quick. Yeah, public comment was just, you're going to move public comments to number 8, so you won't know what we think before you vote on stuff. So you're gonna make votes without hearing from the parents. Just think I prefer 3 minutes for each person in the meeting. And I support uniforms for dress code. There wasn't one posted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bernard. We do have the late entry who came in before, willing to extend the public comment period to allow that person to address. Please come forward and have your comments, but I do want to catch your name so that we have it for the record.
Hi, my name is Linda Scott. I have a daughter that's a senior here, and I wanted to implore you to please adequately fund and staff the guidance department. For this year's graduating class, it has been a fiasco, and a lot of the damage that's been done, that relates to their future choices is irreparable. They don't get a second chance to be seniors. They don't get a second chance to get their SAT done at the right time so they get their applications in for the best chance of financial aid. They don't get another chance for this. But if you will please adequately fund and staff the guidance department, there is maybe hope for the junior class, which is already behind where they should be, being informed of what their choices are and where they should be and what they should be doing. But we also have sophomores and freshmen. You've had 4 years as a school to come up with a plan and to figure out all the things that need to be in place for these kids to be successful after they graduate. And it has just floundered at every turn. I don't know why there's been such turnover in the guidance department. I'm not interested in why there's so much turnover. All I'm saying is, it's really negatively impacting this year's graduating class. At the moment, my daughter has the prospect of losing out on $4,000 worth of scholarship money because certain things haven't been done in time. And I have been assured, every year I talk to certain people, can you make sure that you do this for this kid? Make sure you do that. We're on top of it. And then I find out, we're not on top of it. And I've gone through it in great detail before, because I homeschooled 2 kids through high school. I didn't have a guidance department to refer to. I had to figure out how to do it myself and talk to the colleges and find out all about the paperwork, all about what's the best time to get your application in. And I've offered to help, and nobody seems to want help. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please, for the sake of the kids that are still to come along, please adequately staff and fund the guidance department. Thank you. And if anybody wants to know details, I'm happy to share them in another forum with you.
Thank you for your public comments. I do want to remind folks of the policy that I read in the beginning about including items on the agenda that are, speaking to items on the agenda in the public comment period, or asking the administration to consider adding them to the agenda when appropriate, so that we can stay focused on those things. With that in mind, before we take up item 2 on our agenda, which is our secretary's report, I did want to offer a little bit of an update with respect to our charter renewal. And so, as you know, we're going through our charter renewal process. It's been around for 5 years, and it's time to submit to the renewal process. On December 13th, 2018, the state board voted to extend all of the schools involved in their charter renewals by 3 months. And we were included within that cohort to do that. It simply relates to them being behind in their work, and they'll catch up on those kinds of things. So as of December 13th, 2018, we were extended by 3 months, which would get us into mid-March. And another update here is that there is a new guidance counselor who's started this week. So with that, I would no longer exercise my privilege as chairman to talk out of order and go back to the agenda and look for our secretary's report.
Sure. Thank you. So I know both of everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes from the October 24th board meeting. We'd love to have comments if there's anything that you want about changes that should be updated on this report. I was not here for that meeting, so I think I will stay. If there is
So I'll entertain a motion regarding these minutes. Moved by Patty. Is there a second? A second by Matt. Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Before we vote, I did want to sort of make one comment. There's sort of a widespread notion that we are obligated to abstain from voting on minutes when you weren't there. And according to Robert's Rules of Order, that isn't a requirement at all. All you're doing is voting that the reporter of the minutes did their job. At any rate, if you choose to abstain, obviously you can. You don't have to. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? One abstaining. 2 abstaining. With that, our next item on our agenda is our treasurer's report.
So, as you probably know, we looks like we are, at the budget that we're at a loss of $80,000, year to date. Some items that weren't budgeted in there was $20,000 for depreciation, which brings us down to a $60,000 loss. But then if you take into consideration, grants and contributions that have not been seen yet, that's another $50,000, which brings us down to a loss of $10,000. But then we also have fundraising activities and special reimbursements, which are at $20,000. If you back those numbers out, we're actually at a positive $10,000 year to date. So although this report paints a negative picture, there's a lot of positive in there.
Little misleading.
Yeah, well, it's not misleading because this is where we budgeted everything to be as of November 30th. And sometimes activities and grants and contributions might be delayed. And then obviously depreciation is a non-cash factor that we are actually budgeting every month.
Thank you for that. Other questions about the treasurer's report? If there are none, I entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Motion moved by Sue. How do you want to do the second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion passes. That brings us to our dean's report. Dean Mooney, could you please offer up?
I'm glad to. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to the members of the board. It's so good to see you, and frankly, I've been waiting since October to give this dean's report. There is so much happening here at Founders. I don't even know where to begin. But I'm going to start with this. We came into the new year this week, and the first thing to greet us is the now stream of college acceptances that are coming in for our first graduating class. When we opened the school year, I said it was going to be a celebratory year. This is precisely what I'm talking about. Colleges include Marymount in Virginia, Southern New Hampshire University, Plymouth State University, Riviere College. Also, some of our seniors have accepted commissions into the United States Air Force and the United States Marine Corps. This is just the beginning in 2019. We're going to broadcast these in a nice poster type mural in the school and so forth. We're so exceedingly proud, not only of our seniors for doing this well, for applying and for getting these acceptances, but to those who worked so hard to get us to this point. Those who meet regularly in the scheduling committee to craft curriculum. Those department chairs who so steadily watch their departments in order to make sure we're in line with state standards and the like. Those in the curriculum committee, headed by our director of faculty, Mrs. Hayes, and those members of that curriculum committee overseeing, making sure we're on track. Student services, another one to give credit to, meeting with the seniors, tracking your progress, meeting with parents, making sure all credits and all systems are go to graduate on time and with the credits that they need. This was a team effort, and it's paying off this week. And I cannot again tell you how exceedingly proud I am and how this school should be, how all of you should be with regards to these acceptances that are just starting to come in. A very historic moment for the school. I'd like to congratulate those students that made honor roll in quarter one. Quarter one ended on November 1st. It seems like a long time ago. And frankly, quarter two is on its way here. We're about to end it on January 25th. So again, a special congratulations to those that made the honor roll, both the high honor roll, and the honorable mention. Those names are listed very proudly in our front foyer and also on our website. So congratulations, students. Student services contain a blurb here in my news report. The first thing is what you mentioned already, that we have a new guidance counselor who started this week, Ms. Angela Karen, is her name. An introduction of her will be included in the student services blurb in this week's very informative parent newsletter. And also, of course, Ms. Stewart mentions in the student services report the college acceptances, again, that we are so proud. Our director of faculty, Mrs. Hayes, has an entry here talking about the most recent professional development day that we had for teachers. So much goes on in that day, and it's nice to just get a sneak peek as to what happens. Of course, we couldn't write all of it down in one highlighted as a paragraph, talking about a flipped staff meeting, similar to what's the concept of a flipped classroom, in terms of getting the teachers to have an assignment prior to coming in, by which they discussed that sector. At this point, I'm going to turn over my Dean's report to Mr. McKenzie, our registrar and band director. And he has been working very hard at my asking to compile an overview of the standardized test results for the school. Those involving the SAS test, of which we are required to give by the state and the like. He has worked very hard at this presentation, as he always does on so many items. And so he's going to present that to us now. I ask, of course, I am not done with my Dean's report. I am going to go through the whole thing, because I'm finding more and more that some people, I should say, are somewhat surprised at what goes on here on a day-to-day basis because of some things that they hear on the outside. And so I realize now the importance of my reading the Dean's report to someone who's here 10 to 12 hours on a daily basis, that everybody get a crystal clear picture of what happens at Founders. Mr. McKenzie, please.
Thank you. So I wanted to go over a couple of things in terms of what we have seen on the State Department of Education's website, and also looking a little bit more at the exact numbers that we have. So if we go to the state. Okay. So on the state website, this is a report that is available for basically every school in the district. This, currently is the statistics that are listed on the website for the Founders Academy Elementary School, which covers all grades from grade 3 through 8, which obviously for us only means grades 6 through 8. But we do have it, broken out so that you can see, middle schools versus high schools